dashboard clock at 10. The city spreads like circuitry and I'm alive again. Left the badge behind me on the fluorescent floor. Every neon overpass, a signal to explore. The radio cuts static where the algorithm slept. I'm 40 miles from everything I ever should have kept. The lane the highway reads like code, I understand. This is not a commute, this is taking back my land. The skyline's burning copper, every window is a lie. Something in the asphalt says it's finally time to drive. Transmission from the grid. Transmission from the grid. Live or die, live or die. Transmission from the grid. No more sitting idle in the life they gave to you. Transmission from the grid. Quarterly reports dissolve in the rearview mirrors glow. Every exit number now a latitude I know. Slipstream through the interchange where concrete meets the sky. The corporate pulse is flatlining, I never said goodbye. 7 years administrated in for someone's plan. Tonight I'm burning octane just because I can. The tunnel lights drove binary, I read it on the fly. Every flash is digit, every flash is wake up. Drive. The grid is everywhere. But the highway has no ceiling. And the wheel responds to you. Not the schedule they would delay. Transmission from the grid. Transmission from the grid. Live or die, live or die. Transmission from the grid. No more sitting idle in the life they gave to you. Transmission from the grid. Signal received. The construct is behind me now. They paid me just enough to make believing feel like risk. Another year of spreadsheets dissolving in the mist. I took the highway south where all the signals go to die. The dash illuminates my face, the city fills the sky. Hazard lights of other drones in organized retreat. The ones who feel the friction of the asphalt under feet. I'm not a commuter, I'm a frequency they lost. Every mile I burn tonight is not a fuel cost. The office window was a frame for someone else's dream. Now the windshield is my canvas and the road is what I mean. Headlights punch the darkness where they told me not to go. Headlights push through. Hazard pay was never worth the life they own below. Never worth it. Never worth it. Who told you that the ceiling had to be the sky you see? Break the ceiling. Break the ceiling. Headlights on and hazard pay means nothing to the free. The corporate ladder was a hamster wheel with floors. Every rung a longer shift behind more laminate doors. I see the city burning amber in my 60 gauge. The skyline is a bar chart of a manufactured age. Suit up in an engine fed, the gear shift is my pen. I write the exit memo every time I shift again. Neon rivers flow both ways, but I choose one direction. No performance review waiting at my next intersection. Forward, forward, forward. The pedal is the answer. Forward, forward, forward. They can't hold you down. The exit was always open. You just had to press the headlights, punch the darkness where they told me not to go. Headlight, push through. Hazard pay was never worth the life they own below. Never worth it. Never worth it. Who told you that the ceiling had to be the sky you see? Break the ceiling. Break the ceiling. Headlights on and hazard pay means nothing to the free. Final. Final paycheck cash, the engine doesn't ask permission. Monday's just a Tuesday with a different name to grieve. They engineered the treadmill so you'd never think to leave. I clock the same coordinates at 6 a.m. each day. The coffee in the break room is the highlight of the grade. But tonight I'm on the expressway where the overpasses burn. Every neon corporate tower I refuse to ever return. The loop runs on compliance, feeds on synchronized despair. The moment that you exit it, the loop has nothing there. The loop never ends unless you break it. The loop never ends unless you finally override and take it. The loop never ends. Break the cycle, break the cycle. You were running it, it wasn't running you. Yeah. Performance review season, paint your numbers, paint your face. Another deck of slides prepared to justify your space. But I've been running diagnostics on the system in my head. And every time I output truth, it logs as do not spread. The city at 2 a.m. is more to say than any meeting. Every traffic light a pulse, every overpass a greeting. The construct needs the loop needs you asleep. The highway needs a driver who has promises to keep. The loop never ends unless you break it. The loop never ends unless you finally override and take it. The loop never ends. Break the cycle, break the cycle. You were running it, it wasn't running you. Yeah. Every Sunday that I swallowed, every Monday I was borrowed. Every deadline was a collar. Alright, the collar. But the road has no tomorrow. Just the next light, just the speed, just the engine. That's all you need. I see the drone still streaming in the opposite direction. Committed to the schedule like a digital infection. I used to be that headlight pointed inward, pointed blind. The loop provided purpose for a pre-assembled mind. But circuits can be shorted and conditioning can crack. Once you found the highway, there's no algorithm bringing you back. The city spins its gears tonight for anyone who feed it. The loop needs your consent and I'm the last one left to seat it. The loop never ends unless you break it. The loop never ends unless you finally override and take it. The loop never ends. Break the cycle, break the cycle. You were running it, it wasn't running you. Yeah. the job you want, so you dress for a life in a box. Pressure, iron grip on the elevator rail. Every floor ascending is another floor of jail. The org chart is a family tree of who they own the most. I learned to smile at quarterly reviews like a good host, but something in the Tuesday traffic felt like revelation. The highway past the office was a different kind of nation. White collar doesn't mean you chose the color of your cage. It means the bars were built from your resume and your age. The badge around my neck was not a pass, it was a leash. Everything they gave me put the exit further out of reach. White collar K, white collar, white noise, white lies at the root. White collar K, break the lock, hit the road, never clock in again. White collar K, leave it. You wore the uniform, you said the script by heart. You thought compliance was your way of looking smart. Now burn it. Night falls on the skyline and the office lights stay on. The ones still at the desk believe the ones who left are gone. But I am in the fast lane where the city bleeds. It's like the steering wheel, more honest than a KPI tonight. They measured my potential in the biannual review. A number in a row inside a formula they knew. The formula is wrong, I found the error in the code. Now every intersection is a crossroads that I own. White collar cakes, white collar, white noise, white lies at the root. White collar cakes, break the lock, hit the road, never clock in again. White collar cakes, leave it. The ID badge hits the pavement. No one clocks me anymore. White collar cake. They built a on-ramp wide to make the exit hard to find. Designed for ingress, only engineered to trap your mind. Every corporate benefit, a comfortable delay. The exit ramp was always there, but hidden in the gray. I found it at 11 on a Tuesday driving home. The sign said nothing special, but I knew it as my own. First gear, second, third, the city in the mirror shrinks. And every mile of asphalt is a chain that breaks the sinks. Exit ramp, take it, exit ramp. They never told you it was yours to break it. Exit ramp, now, go, exit ramp, now, go. The on-ramp has a cue. The clock is pound signs of balance sheets that don't belong to me. 24-hour everything the algorithms feed. I drive the corporate district late when all the suits have gone. The glass tower asset registers, the city carries on. Revenue per square foot of fluorescent light and grief. I used to file the paperwork, I used to be the thief. But there's a ledger in the asphalt that the firm can't reconcile. Every mile of city road, an entry in my file. Red light at the intersection, green means go for who? The signals were designed for someone other than the true. I see the building where I sat and watched the hours drain. And now I watch it from the road and notice out the rain. The accounting of my minutes never balanced in the sheet. The debit was my consciousness, the credit was their fleet. But I found the discrepancy buried deep inside the code. The ledger of the neon that the city owes me road. The numbers never added up, the math was always wrong. Every year a clockwork silence made the deficit more strong. Neon Navigator, oh. The accounts don't close for runners or for ghosts. Neon Navigator, break the book. The city writes the profit and we pay the most. Neon Navigator, out at everything. Close the books on every loop you ran for free. Neon Navigator, this night belongs to me. Column closed, the road doesn't need a receipt. that sound belongs to someone else. The only clock worth tracking is the engine doing 12. Override the clock, override the clock. Override, break the schedule, kill the loop, disconnect the dock. Override the clock, override the clock. Do it now. They owned your time, they owned your spine. Override the clock. Pavement doesn't care about your title or your grade. It takes the weight of every choice and every price you paid. The power in the asphalt is the kind they didn't teach. The kind that lives below the bottom line, beyond their reach. I spent the daylight falling in the towers for rest and wound. Now I'm 60 miles from the office and I own the room. The room is the entire city. The corridor is fast. Every lane a perimeter I set and not the last. There's a power in the movement that no bonus ever bought. There's a pavement under everything they said that you were not. Pavement power. Pavement power. Midnight in the city and the road is mine this hour. Pavement power. Take what's yours. Take what's yours. The engine doesn't ask your rank before it roars. Pavement power. Pavement power. Every mile a declaration. Every year a choice. Pavement power. This is my voice. They said authority was earned inside the building walls. The power was in titles in the carpet in the halls. But there's another authority the carpet never shows. The kind that lives in motion in the speed the engine knows. I drove through the financial district at 2:15. The tower's full of overtime but empty of a dream. The power wasn't leaving, wasn't pressing down the floor. Was in the raw negotiation between asphalt and more. The org chart is behind me.
Was 5x7 of the most expensive grade. The motivation poster said your best is on the way. But the way was circular and every circle was the same. The queue divided dozens of us playing the same game. I tracked my output in a system built to make me small, and clocked out every evening through a glass revolving hall. Tonight that hall is 40 miles behind me in the mirror. The city's open architecture couldn't possibly be clearer. Midnight Cubicle, I left it. Midnight Cubicle, you can't possess what never belonged to you. I confess that I was never built for it. Never been, never been. Midnight Cubicle is burning in the review. That's it. They offered me a standing desk, a better ergonomic chair, stopping for the wellness app, a better grade of air. But fresh air isn't a benefit. Inside a box they own. The standing desk is still a desk, the phone is still a phone. I took the exit, not the perk, I took the road, not raised. The cubicle existed in a fluorescent purchased haze. And every night I drive the city, I can feel the cube dissolve. And speed and neon distance, the equation that I solved. No partition ever measured what was living in my chest, and no performance metric calibrated all the rest. Midnight Cubicle, I left it. Midnight Cubicle, you can't possess what never belonged to you. I confess that I was never built for it. Never built, never been. Midnight Cubicle is burning in the rearview. That's it. Gray walls can't contain the signal that you are. Fluorescent can't explain the distance you've come far. 5x7 was never enough room. The highway goes forever past the midnight doom. Midnight Cubicle, I left it. Midnight Cubicle, you can't possess what never belonged to you. I confess that I was never built for it. Never been, never been. Midnight Cubicle is burning in the rear view. That's it. The cube is empty now. Someone else will sit in it, or no one will. Either way, I drive. I used to take the morning train with all the other ghosts, the ones who read their phones to find the notifications most. 100 silent faces pointing downward in the car. The simulator living stretched from home to office far. But now I drive the other way when all the commutes run. The ghost of who I used to be dissolves below the sun. No transit, I require
daily schedule I follow. Doesn't lie the way the metrics always do. The speedometer is honest, reads exactly what I choose. No quarterly adjustment, no revised projection spread. Just horsepower and direction and the distance straight ahead. I confess to the windshield what I couldn't say in glass. Conference rooms with their fluorescent guides in corporate mass. Every mile per hour is a truth I never filed. The dashboard took my confession in the language of the dial. No one's reviewing this performance, no one's grading what I feel. The only evaluation worth the damn is how I hold the wheel. Dashboard confession in the city's neon dawn. The only honest reading is the engine in my heart. Tell the gauge what you are really capable of doing. Push the limit. Dashboard compression, what you bury, be pursuing you. I confess I spent a decade writing numbers for the room. I confess the weekly syncs were engineered to consume the afternoon, the morning, and the edges of the night. But the dashboard doesn't schedule, it just asks how fast, how right. The city is a circuit board that feeds on uniform motion, but the driver who confesses is an unauthorized notion. Every gear shift is a statement that the system can't log. Every headlight through the tunnel cuts the corporate fog. I was the asset, now I'm the operator. I was the resource, now run the accelerator. I was the line item, now I write the whole equation. Dashboard says full throttle on the new foundation. Dashboard confession in the city's neon dawn. Confession. The only honest reading is the engine in my heart. Heart of fire. Tell the gauge what you are really capable of doing. Push the limit. Dashboard compression, what you bury, be pursuing you. Here it comes, the annual theater of the soul. A calibrated ranking on a scale they define whole. Does not meet expectations, well whose expectations, friend? The ones you wrote in August for a budget with no end. I sat across the table with the numbers and the form. They said your output is acceptable and within the norm. But the norm was set by someone who was never meant to be. Exceptional, just manageable and consistently. The rating scale goes 1 to 5 and I am sitting 4. But who decided 5 was where the ceiling was and more? Performance rebate, fix it. me on my teamwork. I was always so low. They scored me on my growth path. I had none and now I know so. They scored me on my future. 4 out of 5 potential. But potential is the cage word. And I am exponential. Performance driven. Exchange, exchange, exchange. I'm exceeding every expectation that you manufacture for your system. Performance driven. Exchange, exchange, exchange. I'm on the road where I set the metrics, set the pace, set my own vision. Performance driven. Rate this. Rate the asphalt, rate the engine, rate the speed with which I'm gone. Rating submitted, final score. Free. Change is not a traffic move, it's a decision. The moment when the signal blinks and cuts with surgical precision. Every other lane is running parallel to someone's plan. The last lane change is finding out the road is what you can. I changed lanes 7 times tonight before I felt it locked. The outer lane runs faster and it doesn't run the clock. The commuters in the center lane are threading through the grid. The last lane change I made tonight is everything I did. There's a lane for the compliant, and a lane for the resigned, and a lane for those who haven't yet made up their mind. But out where the asphalt meets the overpass alone, there's a lane that doesn't service the agenda you were shown. Changes made of everything they let you never learn. What lane were you born in? The lane they chose. What lane do you die in? Only you know. The one between is infinite. It's infinite. And this is how a runner goes. Last lane change gone. Turn signal off, lane selected, never switching back.
one they missed. How alive you feel at midnight on the corporate fist. Every metric was a collar, every number was a fence. KPI for breathing doesn't measure this intensity. The dashboard of the city reads in units they can't code. Revenue, emotion, profit margin of the road. Zero tolerance for stillness, zero patience for the gray. KPI Zero is the score I give the life they made. KPI Zero, no return. Every metric that they tracked in me can burn. No return. I optimize for speed and open street. KPI Zero, zero, zero. No more. They wanted leading indicators, wanted trailing averages. They wanted year-on-year improvement in the bandages that covered up the wound of working inside someone's dream. KPI Zero is the cleanest balance sheet I've seen. The freeway doesn't benchmark, doesn't calibrate or rate. It takes the wheel and velocity, and this is its mandate. Move and keep moving, every exit is a win. KPI Zero, the life I finally begin. KPI Zero, no return. Every metric that they tracked in me can burn. No return. I optimize for speed and open street. I zero, zero, zero. No more. They digitize the workplace, and they digitize the mind. They gave the algorithm all the hours left behind. But underneath the platform and the productivity suite, there's an analog escape route in the rhythm of my feet. The engine is not software, it's a physical machine. It doesn't crash or update or run diagnostics clean. It runs because it wants to, and it stops because I say. The analog escape route is the old unfiltered way. Before the badge, before the Logan, before the managed care, the engine was the only interface that took you there. Analog escape route, running low on digital patience. Analog now. Every pixel of the office, feed the system, let them face it. Face it down. The road was always open, but they blocked it with convenience. Break the flow, an analog escape route, and the city needs no credentials. No credentials. The warm distortion of the amp is closer to the truth than 70 revision cycles in a conference room. There's a frequency in motion and no soft to comprehend. The analog escape route never updates and it never ends. I roll the window down and let the city fill the car. Every stoplight just a fix full in a map drawn by the scars. The escape route isn't digital, it doesn't need a plan. It needs a hand on the wheel and the decision of a man. no permission.
Deadline at 9 a.m. and it is currently 2. The city doesn't care about your backlog coming due. There's a deadline in the asphalt and it always reads right now. The velocity of motion is the only metric valve. I drove through every deadline, niggas stacking schedule in at 100 feet per second past the towers and the den. The delivery was motion and the stakeholder was speed. Every intersection closed ahead of what they'll ever need. The deadline's on the calendar, the inbox and the clock, but velocity is currency and I got it in stock.
Deadline velocity. Approaching every limit at a speed they can't approve. Deadline velocity. Break. Every artificial deadline is a boundary I take. Deadline velocity. Deadline velocity. Deadline velocity. Deadline velocity. I deliver on my own terms. Sprint cycle, stand up, retrospective, rinse and go. The agile framework was the loop with ceremonies to show that movement was occurring in the shape they pre-designed. But velocity is spirit and the body's not aligned. With the burned out chart on Tuesday in a room that has no windows. The deadline velocity, I run out, no one controls. The road accelerates precisely as the foot commands it. No backlog and no blockers and no manager who planned it. The deadline's on the calendar, the inbox and the clock, but velocity is currency and I got endless stock. Deadline velocity. Approaching every limit at a speed they can't approve. Deadline velocity. Break. Every artificial deadline is a boundary I take. Deadline velocity. Deadline velocity. Faster than the sun. Deadline velocity. I deliver on my own terms.
The city swallowed 40,000 exits just tonight, and processed everyone with neutral indifference and light. It doesn't keep a record of the ones who chose to leave. It doesn't log the badge returns to track the ones who breathe. The city is a server farm that doesn't know your name. It only knows you're in it and you came from somewhere same. I love the city for its amnesia, its total blank regard. The city doesn't ask where I was clocked in or how hard. The towers plus the human data every morning when they fill. The names that left last Tuesday are already past the seal. The city takes replacements like a system takes a patch. So one body in the cold seat, another quarter catch. But driving through the city late is different from inside it. You move through it like listening.
The city remembers nothing, nothing, nothing. The skyline doesn't store the years you spent beneath its shuttering. The city remembers nothing. Drive through it. Your name was never in its code, was never in its budgeting. The city remembers nothing, and that's the only grace. Grace, grace. Forget as fast as it forgets, and vanish from the database. Database.
No record, no record,
No memory,
no archive.
no trace of what they
Called your purpose,
The city is indifferent.
and that's freedom.
The city remembers nothing, nothing, nothing. The skyline doesn't store the years you spent beneath its shuttering. The city remembers nothing. Drive through it. Your name was never in its code, was never in its budgeting. The city remembers nothing, and that's the only grace. Grace, grace. Forget as fast as it forgets, and vanish from the database. Database. Record deleted, cache cleared, the city moves on. So do I.
Rain on the asphalt at 11, neon bleeding through the weird. The signal from the highway cuts through everything you'll forget. The windshield is a frequency receiver in the dark. Every raindrop on the glass a pixel, every light a spark. I used to sit in traffic thinking this is all there is, but the signal in the rain is speaking and the language is this. Move because the movement is the signal, don't explain it. The city in the rain is just a construct rearranged and silent in the rain. Every neon puddle is a transmission, you can feel it. Silent in the rain. But the protocol was always here, but you were running too fast. Signal in the rain, and I receive it through the bottle. Neck of everything they told me to believe in. Break it. Signal in the rain. White concrete, open bottle. Signal in the rain, and I receive it through the bottle. Neck of everything they told me to believe in. Break it. Signal in the rain. The frequency is waking. The rain erases all the corporate graffiti from the stone. It washes off the signage and the brand and leaves the bone of raw infrastructure, pipes and steel and signal wire. The city in the rain is stripped of everything for hire. Drop the boulevard where water fills the office lights reflection. Every puddle shows the towers upside down with no correction. The signal in the rain inverts the image of the grid. I see the construct clearly for exactly what it did. Signal in the rain. Every neon puddle is a transmission, you can feel it. Signal in the rain. The protocol was always here, but you were running too fast. Signal in the rain, and I receive it through the bottle. Neck of everything they told me to believe in. Break it. Signal in the rain. Midnight, wet concrete, open bottle. Signal in the rain, and I receive it through the bottle. Neck of everything they told me to believe in. Break it. Signal in the rain. The frequency is waking. Static through the windshield. Hear it. Static in the signal. Hear it. Rain makes everything more honest. Rain makes all the constructs. Signal in the rain has coordinates it's wherever you decide. The protocol is physical, it lives in every ride. The frequency was always in the motion, in the wet, in the city at its rawest, when the construct can't forget to maintain the illusion that the towers are in charge. The rain makes everything look geek, small and large. I take the exit ramp that leads into the unlit road, and the signal in the rain confirms you have been downloaded. Signal in the rain, hey, hey. Every neon puddle is a transmission, you can feel it. Signal in the rain, live first. The protocol was always here, but you were running too fast. Signal in the rain, and I receive it through the bottle neck of everything they told me to believe in. Breaking, signal in the rain, break, car, break you up and throttle. Time 11:47, third of the month. I swiped the card for the 1100th time, and something crunched, broke inside the reader or inside the one who swiped. 7 years compressed into the moment, and it wiped every future Monday in a single understood decision. The drive home was not home, it was the opening and incision into something new that didn't have a name or a review. Just the highway and the speed and everything I'm moving to. Never clock in again. Never. The last swipe was the one that sent the counter back to zero. Never clock in again. Never, never. The turnstile clicks for someone else. I'm already a hero of my own mission, my own signal, my own drive. Never clock in again. I'm finally alive. 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 They'll fill the desk before the week is out. I know the protocol. The system barely notices a single terminal call. A name removed and access revoked. A park and pass return, and everything I was to them is quietly adjourned. I am in the city where the exits never close, where the engine measures everything in power and goes. Moments when the road opens and the city falls away. Never clocking again is all I've ever wanted to say. The badge was a subscription to a version of myself that I finally canceled. The notification is my health. Never clock in again. Never. The last swipe was the one that sent the counter back to zero. Never clock in again. Never, never. The turnstile clicks for someone else. I'm already a hero of my own mission, my own signal, my own drive. Never clock in again. I'm finally alive. 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 They'll say we wish you well. You were not what we needed. They'll say best of luck with the life that you're seeding. But luck is not the protocol. The protocol is motion, and the only clock that matters now runs on forward, endless open. Never clock in again. Never. The last swipe was the one that set the counter back to zero. Never clock in again. Never, never. The turnstile clicks for someone else. I'm already a hero of my own mission, my offline forever.